Primero llego, he keeps thinking to himself. He gets the thought to stop and go back, but he's almost there. He can see land through his blurred vision. He can also see why he's in this position. He can see the family he's leaving behind. It's dark out. He shivers knowing what he's doing isn't right. But what was he supposed to do? He tried it the right way, did all the paperwork, put all his money into it, waited months to get his answer, and in the end, he got denied. He feels the water become shallow. He looks up and sees that he's made it. Have you ever imagined having to come into the U.S. by way of swimming? Neither have I, but sadly, I know many people who have. Most of these people are just looking to better their lives. Over half of these people now work in the agriculture industry. They wouldn't have to enter this way if the process to gain a work visa wasn't so long, difficult, or such a big cost. The Department of Homeland Security must speed up the process, make it more user-friendly and cost-efficient to legalize illegal workers to help the agriculture industry. I've always felt immigration a problem, but didn't ever look into it. Now that I have, however, I've obtained information that has linked me back to 2002. All of it was the same. We need an immigration reform. In 2002, it died down as a top issue because the congressional elections were coming up in that year. Also because the government wanted to focus on improving border security due to 9/11. Congress had planned to bring it up at the beginning of 2003. The agriculture industry's one goal during this time period, a steady and legal supply of labor. Between the years of 2002 through 2009, there have been many people who, like me, support immigration reform. Sally Schoaf quotes a January American Farm Bureau Federation report saying that reforms aimed only at border security and current immigration laws with no guest worker program, the U.S. fruit and vegetable sector as it now exists would disappear. In that same report, Senator Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat from California, proposed an amendment to the Ag Jobs Bill, suggesting it would allow undocumented farm workers to pursue legal work status if they could prove her provisions consisted of immigrants applying for a blue card if they could prove they worked 150 days in each of the 2 previous years. The blue card holder would then be required to do farm work for 100 work days in each of the next 5 years, or 150 work days in each of the next 3 years to become eligible to apply for a green card. Feinstein described her amendment as a pilot program that would not extend to more than 1.5 million workers in its 5-year lifetime. In 2006, Feinstein wasn't the only one with a plan. The Senate's Agriculture Committee Chairman, Saxby Chambliss, introduced the Agriculture Workforce and Employment Protection Act. It addressed the issue of undocumented agriculture workers without creating a potential work stoppage to the nation's farms and without providing a new path to citizenship. To crack down on employers who hire illegal workers, it would ensure that the foreign workers' ties to their country of nationality remain strong. It would mandate limits to their country of nationality for specified time periods, but would also allow employers to extend work periods. Diana F. Roth wrote, "If Congress allowed more immigration, then American taxpayers would come out ahead financially." She suggested that Congress overhaul all immigration laws and create an expanded temporary worker program with the path to citizenship. The immigration policy had numerous benefits. Undocumented workers would pay the federal and state taxes to federal and state governments rather than pay gray market check cashing services. Payments for health care could be collected more easily for insurance rather than burdening hospital emergency rooms with immigrants who had no health insurance. If foreign workers wanted to work here, they would pay the government for visas rather than pay smugglers for unsafe illicit transportation. She agrees that few low-skilled workers have a legal and reliable method to enter the country and work legally. There would be little need for these immigrants if more Americans took jobs cow pushing or fruit picking and etc. Thankfully, we do have immigrants who don't feel they are above hard labor. There are many ways to improve the immigration situation in the U.S. If anything, the Homeland Security should find a way to legalize the 12 million immigrants that are already in the U.S. Deporting these immigrants would not be the answer. It would make a huge hole in the agriculture industry's workforce, not to mention the decrease in food production not only nationally, but internationally as well. It would also lower the already bad economy. One answer could be amnesty. There are many people who are against amnesty, but no country can deport 12 million people. The amnesty was the answer for our country and its immigrants in '86, so why not now as well? It may not be the best solution, but it could easily help the situation at hand. Many people have been better off being able to enter the country, legally or illegally. My family is a prime example. My mother entered with a visa, and my father entered illegally, and then later took advantage of the amnesty. My parents and my family have looked for what any other immigrant looked for, a better life and a chance to become something more. My father has worked in the agriculture industry since he first immigrated into the U.S. and has continued to do so to this day. There are many immigrants in this country. The only difference is form of entry. As agriculturists, we live by the creed that E.M. Tiffany wrote. He wrote, "In the life abundant and in honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as ourselves." Many politicians have also lived by this creed. So why is it that if so many of these politicians have been able to live by the creed, that they don't seem to care about it anymore? Immigrants want one thing, and that is to work. Shouldn't we let them better themselves as well as ourselves?